Hello, everyone, and welcome to Movie Mandates, the show where my sister and I force each other to watch movies according to a monthly theme. I'm Andrew,
And I'm Kelly.
and if there's anything better than someone in a movie saying the movie's title, it's someone singing it. Yes, it's title song month here on Movie Mandates, and who doesn't love a title song? Stuart, that's who. I know
Okay.
you're listening, Stuart.
Oh no.
Bad taste having putts, monkey. Anyway,
Oh, I
I
gotta use that.
mandated we watch Moon Zero Two, a movie with a title song so obnoxiously boisterous one can't help but love it. Unless you're Stuart.
Oh my gosh. I
But
needed
before we try
backstory.
but before we try and fail to sing Moon Zero Two's title song without breaking into giggle fits, it's only fair that since I mandated today's movie, Kelly gets to challenge me in a segment we call Trivial Trivia.
Yes. So, Moon Zero Two. Very exciting. And of course, when searching for it, you actually spell out the zero and the two, which I was like,
Yeah.
oh, look at
Yeah,
that.
it's Moon
Yeah.
Zerotwo.
Because it has nothing to do with like sequels or anything like that. So I endeavor for you to
Yes,
name
this is
me.
not the sequel to Moon Zero One.
Exactly. It's not like, English 101, English 102, like, Moon Zero Two. So anyways, no, the point is that in that vein, I endeavor for you to name me five movies that have numerals in their titles, but those numerals have nothing to do with it being a sequel. So that being said, I do have two franchises that you're not allowed to touch because 13, 12, 11, 8 all have to do with like,
The
yeah, oceans,
Oceans. Yeah.
and
Okay.
leave Vin Diesel's franchise out of it because Fast Five,
Fair, fair.
it's the fifth
Y-
one.
Yeah, I mean, and Fast and the
Eh.
Furious X was number 10, as long as you ignored something in Hobbs, Hobbs and
Oh,
Shaw,
Hobbs and Shaw.
one of the
Which
two.
why would you ignore Hobbs and
I
Shaw?
don't know. It looked,
Such
I
a
didn't
great
see it,
movie.
but
So good.
I
That
didn't.
was my year of The Rock. I think I saw three
Yeah,
and there were
I
four
saw
films that
Fast
year.
X at the drive-in this past summer, and
Nice.
I just the only other one I've seen is the first one.
Right.
So I had to, so people come, it's like it's me. I'm like, oh hey, Brie Larson. I assume she's like
It's her first
introduced
time in the film,
in one of the sequels somewhere.
but there are several people
Oh,
who've like
Charlize Theron. I
died
guess she
and
was
then
in one
come
of the
back. So like there's been some
yeah.
deaths, but we're not dead, so
Yeah,
that's
Wonder Woman
happened.
is in it too. What's her Gal Gadot?
Yes, she was in the original. So
And
she
I guess
or the
Han
second
finally
one.
got his justice because he's in this movie.
That's what I'm saying. Like they're like, just kidding,
All right.
alive.
Anyway, I giggled my ass off throughout the entire. It's I kind of want to, Brian Gillis, one of my viewers,
Yes,
he's a
yes,
physicist. I kind of want
yes.
to watch the movie with him,
He has cats.
just to watch his face uh,
Mm,
when, as the physics of this universe are presented to him. It's like, why does that rolling mine have no like does not obey the law of
I
conservation of momentum?
cannot wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so movies that have a number in the title that is not the okay. I think the most obvious one is Leonard Part Six,
Right, because that was my first thought as well.
which
What is Leonard Part Six, please?
that's a Bill Cosby film. I think we saw it
Oh,
in the theater when we were very young. It was a Bill
wow.
Cosby vehicle, and the fact that there was no Leonard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 was kind of the joke. Um,
Mm.
so
All right. All right.
so that's one. Phase Four, which do you have IMDb open?
No, but I can
Can you
get it
double
quite
check me on
quickly.
that? I think it's phase,
Internet
and I think it's Roman numeral. I think it's
space.
one V IV. That is a animal attack movie. It's about a bunch of ants that rise up to take over the world.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
no
yeah.
phase. So it's not the four. Am I right? That's the name of the movie. Phase.
Yeah, it's called Phase Four.
Okay.
Does not look to be a Phase One.
Yeah, it's not part of a franchise. What it's referring to is It's
Like
kind of
DEFCON?
like would you count Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
Mm. I mean, sure, I'll allow it.
Okay. It's kind of like that, where it's not the third movie, but it's talking
Right.
about there's a Close Encounters of the First and the Second Kind. Same thing with Phase 4. It's Phase 1, 2, 3. It's like when animals.
They happened off screen.
Yeah, yeah. Well, actually, Phase 1, 2, and 3 actually happens in the movie, and it
Oh,
gets up
is
to
it like
Phase
one of
4.
those, like I said, like a
I think it's
DEFCON,
when
like there's a
Phase 4
level?
is when they contact you and are like, "We're going to kill you unless you do something." I don't know. It's a good movie, actually. At least that's my memory.
And
Um,
it's old as, well, maybe it's not that old. How old is it?
Phase 4, it's
74.
in the 70s, I think. Yeah, 74.
74.
Yeah, it's a
Predates me.
uh
So that's three.
that's 3. Let's see. Around the World in 80 Days.
That's a good one. That works. That's fair.
Um, there's actually several of those, but that's been done a couple of times. Let's see. Uh, shoot.
My favorite director directed one. Oh,
I just had a thought. ID4. I
not
mean,
the
it's
name of the
Independence
movie.
Day. I mean, you've cut me enough slack on some others with like Close Encounters. We'll not include that one. Title of the movie is actually Independence Day, but it was
I
broadly
remember.
marketed as ID4.
I do recall. Uh
It Takes Two.
Ouch. But yeah, no, I'll allow it.
It's a TWO.
It is a team. It does. It does take two. Oh, Mary Kate and Ashley. I was thinking of 2001. A Space
Oh,
Odyssey.
I you know what? I was thinking the front of Moon Zero 2 was kind of trying to ape 2001. Um, let me double check something.
Okay.
Anyway,
What are we looking
so
at?
It Takes Two is a Olsen twins movie, is it?
Is it not? Oh, is it a
No, I
Melanie
know
Griffith and Antonio
it's a
Banderas movie?
Kirstie Alley Steve Guttenberg movie. I
Wait,
mean,
what's the one with Antonio Banderas then? There's another one with him too. Uh-oh.
I don't know, but
This is very fun for me.
it's also a George Newbern and Leslie Hope movie from '88.
So there's
It was the Kirstie Alley Steve Guttenberg one I was thinking of, but
oh.
It Takes Two, baby.
What is the one I'm thinking of now? It's gonna upset me, and I'm just going to just
Jesus, there's a lot of things called It Takes Two.
exactly.
Yeah,
I
well,
mean, honestly, it has to be that the Mary Kate and Ashley did it once upon a time. Like it has to. Like it would be almost dumb if they didn't.
If there isn't an Olsen Twins movie called It Takes Two, there damn well should be.
Yeah, exactly. Like they did it wrong. That's true. Okay, anyways, I can't find what I'm looking for. So I guess I will just have to tell you one day in the future if I ever come across it. But I swear, it's in my head. There's another. You know what? Instead, let's talk about Moon Zero Two. Oh my God. So when it's okay, so first off,
This movie starts like Mortal Kombat. You know, Mortal
oh,
Kombat.
it's a banger. Yeah, no,
Mortal
it's so good.
Kombat. Do, 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 do. This one started. You're like, Jesus.
Here's the thing that's wrong with this movie is that I actually want to watch it and like do the MS3TK throughout the whole thing. Like it was the whole time I'm pausing it and I'm like, I don't have anyone to tell that this just happened.
I have a really snarky remark to make.
I need to say
Lydia,
something.
do you
No
care?
one's here. I need to talk about it and no one's here. So it was a very tough movie to get through because No one was there. So I'm really excited we're here. But no, it starts off, Alf. Who am I? It starts off with that title song. And you're correct. Like I think you said when we recorded last that it was an animated sequence that literally had nothing to do with the movie. And it doesn't, but it's hilarious. Like
I mean, there's a moon and there's two dudes running around on it. I'm not sure
and
who.
others, but I don't know who they were
One of them's
supposed to
wearing a ball
be.
cap. Is he supposed to be the main guy, Bill Kemp?
I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
so. I think
Bill
it was
doesn't
just,
wear a ball cap.
but it's very funny because they're running around like planting flags. And I was just
Fun
thinking about
opening sequence.
it was a very fun opening
It's,
sequence.
you know, this fully. I have to wonder if like someone was like, it's like, okay, the director's like, I have a vision. I want this. I want a full animated sequence, and it's got to be. I want a title song, and I want it to be epic. And they got this back, but it's like that's not the tone I was going for at all. This is way more. You know, I was thinking 2001 Space Odyssey. You gave me kind of Pink Panther. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
no,
still
that's
good,
true. Yeah.
but seems tonally discordant with the film. It's an interesting film. I don't know what they were, if they ever decided on what they wanted this movie to be, because there's a lot about this movie that says this is kind of a spoof of that era's space and sci-fi movies. But there's
Oh,
other,
or
there's
was
a,
it lit, or is it like taking itself very seriously
or
and
is it just
being?
a, is it just an of the era sci-fi
When was it? Do
movie?
you know?
69.
I think it was just, this is the movie. This is like, I think it was earnest. I think that that's what it was.
But I
I
mean,
don't think it
like
was
the
supposed to
shower
be a
stall
spoof.
doors, come on.
Oh, well, I mean, there was some funny stuff because I really think that there were some things that they leaned into with like,
The outfits,
yeah, the outfits, and it was 2021. I was laughing so hard. I think that people
oh
in the
yeah. It
past,
takes place in 2021.
it takes place in 2021, and I'm like, how quickly did you think we were going to get to this?
Well,
Like you could
you
have at least
know,
put it in 3021 because like this is in 69. They talk about Neil Armstrong
that's
and
the weird thing. I mean, this movie must have been made in like 3 months or something, unless the moment where they're talking about Neil Armstrong, because that was the summer of 69. Just like
yeah,
Bryan Adams said,
yeah, he did
totally what that song's about.
the year 1969. Yeah.
Yeah. um, so
Because
there's
July
a
was when was the moon landing? July, June
summer
30th, July 30th.
it was the summer of 69. And
Again, I know.
I
Brian,
remember
Brian
that
told
because
me
of the
all about
Bryan
it.
Adams song, which has nothing to do with the moon landing.
No, but Kubrick is my favorite director. And
Um,
apparently he directed the moon landing. Who knew? Good for
yeah,
him.
oh man, that's got to be frustrating when you're like, I imagine the moon landing like happened while they were in production, and they're like, oh shit. Now people can just turn on the TV and watch the moon landing. They aren't gonna give a shit about our movie. um, so I have to wonder if it was like shot in the spring or something, and then the moon landing happened, and then they brought some people back in to do a
To
pickup
do a little thing.
or
That is
to
interesting.
acknowledge Neil Armstrong.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know, but man, it was either that or this movie was, and it's not the highest budgeted movie. They they work with what they've got. There's some good stuff in here.
Oh,
Some of the screening is pretty good.
I want to be
The models
clear.
are adorable.
Loved it. Loved this movie. I loved every moment of watching it. I'm watching it again on Friday with Fushi,
Oh,
so I can stop
okay.
and talk about it.
Let me say also that I love this movie. I don't like this movie.
Correct, correct.
It's not a
Oh,
good
no.
movie,
No, it's not. Not at
but I
all. Not at
love
all.
it.
I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. It was amazing. So good. So,
What's interesting is this movie genuinely does so much right, particularly from storytelling and just narrative structure, because
Mm.
there's just a lot of stuff that's set up and paid off properly. The
Hmm.
narrative makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's actually really clever. Um, it's a lot of the tangible details, a lot of the execution, some of the set design and the costumings, while fun, are just so over the top you can't take them
Oh
seriously.
my God,
Um,
terrible. Yeah.
every item in this world is prefixed with the word space or moon. I'm gonna go to the space bar and spend some moon bucks. Yeah,
Yes, yes,
that
yes.
kind of a thing.
Yes, yes.
There's a sign that says space personnel only. It's like, are
Oh
there
my gosh.
other types of personnel
That's
on
what I thought when it said space personnel. I'm like, isn't that everybody?
We're
Is
on the
it?
moon. That's everyone here, right?
Well, it's also, isn't that like a space station, like where people, oh, I mean, I guess it was kind of like a Grand Central Station in, because there were passenger flights, but like I
Yeah,
saw that too. It's
that was
like
the
Grand
basically
Central Station,
the
yeah.
terminal where people are coming in.
It was
And
like space
we're
personnel. I'm like,
all
who
immigrants
else?
here.
I
Oh my,
mean,
someone was proud of that damn line because they say it like
they said it
three or
like
four
three
times,
times. Yeah.
and it never has anything to do with anything. It's never like
It's
thematically poignant or appropriate.
no, the only thing that was semi funny about it is when the bad guy, who is a nondescript,
I
non-American, but you
don't
don't know
know
what he
what the
is.
actor was going for.
I don't know, like monocled, like evil guy. And then he's like, where is your partner who has an accent from? And
Like,
he's like,
I'm like,
Earth.
is this racist? It's like I don't know what he's going for. I have no idea if
That's
this
what I
is
was wondering
racist or
too.
not.
He's like, where's he from? And he's like, Earth. And I'm like, good answer, dude. And then he's like, we're all foreigners here. And I was like, and then she said, or we're all
He
immigrants
says it
here, or
to
whatever.
him. He
Yeah.
says it to her.
She says it back to him when they're in the little cruiser
Oh,
looking
right.
out. She's like,
She
we
repeats it back
really
to
are
him.
all, you know, non-native. I forget the words already, and you've said it 14 times, but like, yeah,
We're all immigrants on the moon.
immigrants. It is immigrants. No, let me tell you about, can I tell you my favorite scene? It's right at the beginning of the movie.
Sure.
We need to start and just go through because it was so bad and I loved it.
Oh, yeah.
So
You know what mainly doesn't
go.
work? The performances. Just like all the actors are, some of them are like the main bad guy. He's smarming up the screen,
They
but
are full on archetypes.
yeah, no one has anything to do.
You have the girl who they make very clear that she is much younger than him because she looked up to him as a little girl because he was the first guy who landed on Mars, and she's like, "Oh, I when I
When
was
I was in
young,
school,
when I was in school, I did this," and you're just like, "Oh, that's great." And then he's this Lothario, and I'm like, "Not in that outfit, you're not." Like, no one wants to unzip that baby, not no, but like in his receding hairline and everything, which is fine. Receding
I
hairlines are fine. But, it was
work
just
with
very
what you
funny
got.
that they try to make him all. And I love her.
Tall dude, though, apparently. Either a short cast or a very tall dude.
Yes, yes.
Because
He
he's like a
was.
head taller than almost everyone who stands next to him.
Yeah, he was. I do think he was a tall
To the
gentleman.
point where I'm like, did you want to get some of the other actors like some apple boxes to stand on? Because he's like distractingly tall.
They spent all their money on a choreographer to choreograph these ladies
For the
dancing in the
bar.
background who never stop. Can we just talk about, okay, so there's a bar, there's a space bar. No, this is very important.
At
So
first, I
there's,
wasn't sure. I'm like, is this the same bar? Do they just switch themes every day? What are they doing?
but here's the thing,
Talk about variety
I
show.
can't, because this is the funniest thing. And I'm right because you know music so much better than I. However, so I think they go to this space bar 3 times. And each
Please,
time
yeah.
there is a gaggle of ladies who are dancing on stage in very interesting outfits. And the funny thing is that the very first time you see them, they are in a line doing a little pelvic thrusty thing and then a weird, thing with their hands. And it actually is quite lovely.
Yeah.
They do it well.
Yeah.
But it is shot and delivered in a way that this is the beginning of this dance. And they're wearing chain undergarmentish weird
They're
things. Anyways,
wearing white bodysuits with
suits,
like big
chastity
black
belt
belt
chain
buckle,
weird. Yeah,
chastity belt looking things,
it's
which
fine.
kind of looks like a target over their crotch.
Yeah, but so it's but shot in a way that makes you believe that this is like the beginning of the dance. And then the scene goes on and on and on, and they're constantly dancing in the background to what is the same dance that just never ends. These are the most talented dancers in the world because the music which is playing is 100% Muzak with a K. That is these long, long, long songs that just kind of don't end. And it's just like ambiance. Like there was no true end of the song. It was just kind of like and
But the
they're
whole thing was
dancing
choreographed.
their hearts out and choreographed, and they never end. And then the other two times you come in, they're into a dance, they've changed, and they dance in the background the whole time. And they do great.
Yeah,
But
there's
I'm
the
just
white
like,
thousuits with the black
there's
chastity belt. There's the
the
yellow
yellow
ones,
feather.
and then the 50-gallon cowboy hats one.
Yes. But I'm just like, these poor, like, is that what they do? They just, well, your shift is from 6 to 11. Like, here's the dance that we're doing tonight. And it just,
I
maybe
think they
that
were
just
going for
repeats.
like Western in space, and this is just
I,
a saloon kind of a thing.
oh, and I'm sure it was kind
Because
of
they're
saloon
because they don't have ray guns.
meets,
They all have six shooters.
yeah, I'm sure it was like saloon meets like, I mean, because it was like, like that's maybe titillating, who knows? Because he does sit right up front and he's like, yeah, like at,
Like he's gonna be throwing dollars on the stage or
yeah,
something
like
like
he,
that.
I mean, I was like, is this what this club is? I don't
And I
know,
know
but it
he's
was just,
tall, but he doesn't need to prop his damn feet up on every single thing he sits in front of.
but
When
yeah,
he's in his spaceship, which is the titular Moon 02,
right.
he
Oh,
props
right.
his feet up on the dashboard. Then he
Always, but
goes to
yes.
the Queen of Space or whatever the hell her title is, and she's wandering around in her sparkly undies with lots of gauzy accoutrement. He goes and just crashes on her bed. It's like, oh,
Yeah, he full on just
and
her
he doesn't,
pink
and he's not like sitting on one side so she can lay down next to him. He like man spreads over the bed, and she's like,
full on.
I'll just daintily sit on the corner here, huh?
Yeah, and tell you that, yeah. No, but anyways, those dancing ladies were so hilarious because I'm like, those poor, like, it's the same dance. I mean, it was different choreography each
Mhm.
time, but it was not a song. It was just background melody, and they are just dancing their little hearts out. No, but I want to tell you about my favorite scene. So this is my favorite scene. So, he being Kent or Kemper,
Uh, Bill Kemp.
Kemp, um, they arrive to the moon landing space thing, right? And is it her? I think it's her that you already see. So she comes in, but it's hilarious because she comes in this big
Good thing, yeah.
grimace type outfit, right? And like
It's almost a mascot costume, yeah.
it like full on, like all you see is her eyes. And then it's like the next scene is like, oh, okay, I can take off my habit, or it's not what, but like, and you're like, of course.
Every time she does that, the actor is
She does
trying to do the Vidal Sassoon hair flip, but her hair is always
always
in
in.
her outfit, so she can't do it.
I know. She does it every time she takes off her helmet and her hair's in, and she goes like this, and I'm like, I don't know
But
what
her
you
hair's
think.
down the back of her outfit and it doesn't go
I'm like,
anywhere.
I don't know what you think you're doing, girl, because it's not doing anything. Okay,
Oh,
so
maybe she just cracking her neck or something.
so they're on the moon space station, and they're like, how are we going to get there? And he's like, oh, there happens to be a very handy, not to scale model over here of the moon and a little moon buggy. Let me just explain exactly. It was the fun. He's like, oh, well, there's a little moon buggy. Why don't I tell you all about it? And like, he just walks 2 steps over to this very not to scale. And everything in the movie was not to scale, though. So can I like when the
Although there
movie,
was a funny forced perspective shot in one of the moon buggy outdoor miniatures,
yeah,
where one of the larger miniatures drives behind like a big obstruction, like a mountain or something like that, and then the camera pans over and it's a smaller little buggy to give the impression of it drove further away. I'm
yeah.
like, that's cute.
No, it was it was hilarious. But
And when
anyway,
the little
so
moon buggy was crawling up the side, you could totally see the wires pulling
oh
the
my
damn
God.
thing
And
up.
not just that, but I was like, it was like, we can't get over this rubble. And I'm like, the front of your moon buggy is like
It's a
literally
scoop
a
shovel, yeah.
scoop. Like, and then they drive up with the scoop full of rock, and I'm like, just
Dump it.
dump
Throw
your
it
rock.
behind
And
you.
I'm like,
Like
is
our
that
little
not?
model doesn't do that. It's fixed
I'm
to the
like, that
front.
is a bulldozer thing.
Mhm.
So, oh my God. But anyways, so girl, so okay, hold on. I'm gonna stop. It's so good. It's just so good because then we can go on for hours. Um, Kemp is a pilot. He's a very good pilot. Here's the thing though. He wants to explore and discover the universe and go on expeditions. Well, once they landed on the moon, and he landed on Mars, you see. And so he
Yep,
wants this is
we've got the moon, Mars, and Venus. Don't know how you manage Venus. That doesn't seem like a good place to land, but okay.
no. But so there they are. But now they're like, you know what? They being the corporation is they're fine. They're like, you know what? People just want space travel now. So all pilots are passenger pilots. They just
I mean, to
are
be
we're
fair, none of the planets are really hospitable, but yeah.
no, but we're just trucking people back and forth. That's what we need. Exploration is done. We have found what we're going to find. And Kemp's like, damn the man. No, I will break away and I will have my own Moon 02 unit and I will salvage wreckage from the space, get money so that I can continue on my way. I'm a pilot for hire, but I want to explore because I don't want to be a passenger pilot. And said woman is looking for him, and she's looking for him because her brother is supposed to be on the moon, maybe somewhere. It's a very convoluted story, but brother's there. No one can get a hold of them. So will you take me to the far side of the moon, which is lovingly named Far Side of the Moon? It's just
It's the
I loved
near
it. Like
side and the far
there's a
side.
near side and a far side.
Well, it's moon's totally locked. It's always facing the same way, so the backside's going to be the backside. Um,
Well, it's always facing the Earth the same way. It does,
yeah,
rotate.
totally locked to the Earth. It's
Yes.
always facing the
Yes.
Earth.
So
So most people live on the Earth side, but there's a
yeah.
far side where you can do mining. And the law is you can buy a plot to mine in for 2 years, and if you find something, you get the rights to whatever the hell you found there. But if you don't find anything, you forfeit your rights, and someone else can buy it and try their luck.
Right.
So her brother has been mining up on the far side of the moon for a couple of years, for almost 2 years.
Right.
His
Days away.
his term is almost up. Last she heard of him, like 4 months ago, he found something. So she came up to the moon, and now she can't get a hold of him. And
Right.
there's something where they can't just call because the satellite's down, and apparently they don't have landlines there.
Yeah, there's a lot of
I mean,
reasons.
they maybe they just never laid the cable. They've been working on satellites, and satellites down.
Right.
So
It's
they
only 2021. Like goodness knows, we've
and
already exceeded what we should
on
be.
something you said earlier, it's like, did they really think we'd be colonizing the moon to an extent in in 50 years?
I mean, I guess if we
You
just
know,
landed.
if we hadn't given up on the space program in like the 70s or something like that,
Fair.
then we'd be a lot further.
That's fair.
You
The
know?
moment you land on it, you think, well, there's a reason we're there. We're obviously moving to this next step. Okay, that is a fair assessment, brother. Please. Okay, so she hires him to take her, and she's like, let's go to the far side to find brother. Meanwhile, bad monocled man is like, I have found a meteor that is made completely out of sapphire, and I would like to crash it into the moon on this plot of land that no one is on so that I can get this sapphire. You're gonna take us, we're gonna put accelerants on it, it's gonna crash into the moon.
Right. So
no harm, no foul.
So
Gonna get the
big
sapphire.
business guy is wants to hire Bill Kemp to do something illegal. as Kelly said, he's found a sapphire meteor that's, I think, what, 6,000 tons of sapphire or something.
Yes, and can we mention, by the way, that it is 60 feet by 30 feet?
By
And
60 by
no, it's
30 by
not.
30.
No,
No,
it's not.
no. And I love
I was I was
the
doing maths in my head, and I'm like,
the
that's
model is
not it.
adorable because it's like the size of a potato.
It is so funny. And like three people can stand on it, and I'm just like, an entire football team can stand within 10 yards, dude. Like,
Yeah,
I can't.
it looks to be like 25, 30 feet, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly not 60.
Yeah, at the longest part. And then
Yeah,
like,
they
yeah,
seem to be standing on the long ways.
yeah. And I'm
You
like,
know,
that's not
30
60
feet in
feet.
circumference, maybe, but
Yes.
oh,
Yeah.
whatever.
Anyways,
So,
it don't
so
matter.
anyway, before Bill is even really talking to what's her face about her brother, he meets her in the airport at the beginning of the movie. He's like, "Oh, hi, nice to see you, pretty lady. Nice hat." Um, then he's approached by the monocled bad guy who's like, "I want to hire you because I'm going to do something illegal here. But here's the thing: found the 6,000-ton sapphire thing. What we're going to do is strap rockets to it to change its orbital trajectory.
Right.
Because you can't just salvage it out of space, apparently. But no one's plotted this sucker before. So who's to say it just didn't accidentally crash into the moon?
Right.
Right?
Right.
I'm like, okay, that tracks, sure. So he says, what we're going to do is we're just going to crash it into the far side of the moon in a big empty spot where nobody is, and then we'll just go get it. He's like, yeah, that's illegal. And he goes, yeah, I know, but
But
with
we'll
all the
repair your
sapphire,
ship, and it will be a great ship
yeah,
because
well,
it's an old model.
right. I'll fund so you're less likely to die when you go flying around
Oh yeah,
getting
because that's a
salvaged.
big thing. Like people are dying who don't work for the corporation because that those ships are very well maintained. So all these freelance pilots are just crashing and dying.
But you know
Or auto.
the plaque, the in remembrance of plaque, that's kind of depressing. And the people who come to the moon to visit, I think they'd be kind of bummed out if they saw a big list of dead people. So Kelly, where should we put the plaque of dead people?
In the men's restroom, but of
Yeah,
course.
in the bathroom.
Duh.
That seems like a good. And we're
They're
not
like,
making that up. That's literally the plot. I mean, it's like a
in
shame
the
it's in here where no one can see it. It's like in the locker room, yeah. It's like, yeah, but the passengers were kind of depressed by this if it was out in the main lobby, so we put it in the locker room.
it's so, oh my God. It's so funny. I can't. I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, but then why it's because that's the space personnel you see. They're gonna dislike it just as much. Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah. So let me drive through the plot of
Yeah,
the movie
please
because I think
go.
it's I actually like the villain plot. I'm like, that's a really interesting idea. We're gonna just
Like you
we're
said, it really does hit the plot points.
right.
It doesn't do any of the meat or in between moments well,
Right.
but like it has a good idea.
Yeah. So they go up there and they redirect the orbit of this meteor.
Right.
And then they go back down. It's like, all right, in 4 days, we'll have to go back up there and redirect it one more time to get it to
Impact.
crash in the spot that we want. A empty spot on the far side of the moon where we don't want it to land on Moon City. And yes, it's called Moon City, I think. Just out back where the miners are. So it's like, okay, see you in 4 days. So he runs into what's her face again. He goes, "Oh, hey, you're still here. Did you ever find your brother?" She goes, "No, I've been talking to all the peoples and blah 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 blah." It's like, "Oh, that's weird. Well, I've got some time. I can. It's like a 2-day buggy ride out there, but I could fly you out to the nearest far side city, and then it's only like a 20-hour dune buggy ride out to the site where your brother's supposed to be." So they go out there, and they find out that he's a skeleton inside his own suit. Don't know why.
Like mummified skeleton. Like it's like because it's weird. Yeah.
Yeah,
Standing though, standing.
I'm like, did he decompress somehow? What happened
Yeah.
there? But what? And he was standing there, and they, Larry, is that you? And they turn him around, and he like spins around on a pivot. Like
Yeah.
would have just knocked him over, but whatever. They were trying to do the
Psycho
thing where they
Hitchcockian reveal.
his
Yeah.
face around in the chair, and it's a skull. So her brother's dead, and so they're like, oh my god, no wonder I couldn't get a hold of him. And they take his his pack off, and I love the pack on the back of their suit because the two air canisters are labeled left and right with a little L and a little R. One's one's
green and one's red.
One,
yeah.
One's like a main and one's a backup, but they're labeled L and R, so you don't get them backwards. I love that touch. So they're like, well, so they look at it and it's like, well, he's got air in there. It's like this one's completely empty, but this one is full. I guess it's just an accident. But then they run into three no good nicks who start shooting at him
in very vibrant colors, by the way.
Which again is explained. He says, space suits come in all kinds of different vibrant colors, so you can tell who each other is at a glance. So also just the outfits are kind of amazing, particularly the ladies. In modern day, like if you look, it's getting better today, but if you look at like award shows and stuff like that, our culture suggests that the ladies have carte blanche to wear anything they want. Pants, shorts, dresses, wrap yourself in duct tape, encase yourself in bees, whatever you want to do, that's fine. If you're a dude, it's a suit.
It's very funny.
You wear pants, a shirt, and a jacket. That's it. You've got two different types of tie. You've got the long tie and you've got the bow tie.
There's a game that my kids play on their iPads, and I don't know what the game is. I'm not sure. But B plays it all the time, and it's like she's dressing up these characters for a certain theme, and it's like a fashion show kind of a thing. And so like they get a theme, and then she dresses them up, and then they walk the runway, and everybody who's playing in that server in that room or whatever votes on it, and blah, 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 blah. And so Miles is very upset at this game because the boys don't have, like, we had this conversation last night, which I think is fabulous. He was like, I don't like that game because they don't have enough clothes for the boys. And I explained to him, I said, in history, it has ebbed and flowed like that. Like originally men had the high heels and the makeup and the frilly things and the, really beautiful
and tights.
And like, and I was like, the really beautiful colors and stuff. It was very, very manly. And then it has, somehow switched. And I said, but I do know that, and to your point, I was like, and I told him that I believe it's coming back, that we have enough influencers and enough people are seeing that you can be masculine, because he'll wear anything. He'll wear skirts. He does fingernails. He freaking loves skirts because you know what? You don't have to wear pants. He's like, did you know that if you wear a skirt, you don't have to wear pants? I'm like, yep, that's what that means. And he's like, it's the greatest feeling in the world. I'm like, still means you have to wear underwear, but children. But it's very true. It's very true. So there were multiple outfits for space ladies, and he had one very thin piece of polyester that zipped from his chode to his neck.
Yeah, that's the thing about the world of Moon 002. How many zeros? 1002 is that the ladies get a wide variety of outfits from full body jumpsuits to the miniest of the mini skirts, where not only are you never, if you drop something, it's gone.
It lives down there now.
You're not getting it back. You're also not sitting down.
No.
Also, you can't even be shot from a flat angle. You kind of have to jack the camera up and shoot down a little bit. I'm like, some of the shortest skirts. Yeah. I know it was the 60s, but still some of the miniest of mini skirts I've ever seen.
Impressive.
Men, on the other hand, Their options are jumpsuits that are too tight in the crotch. That's about it. Other than the guys with the plastic jackets that show up in the bar halfway through the movie.
Oh, yeah.
If you're not wearing a spacesuit, you're wearing a jumpsuit that rides up in the crotch. That's about it. So anyway, we're out at the site. We've got three no good Nicks out there who are trying to kill us, and we have a pretty decent action scene. Where they set up that there's an intercom thing where the people in the various spacesuits can hear each
Yes.
other, but the suits have a little landline thing that you can plug into someone's suit so you can have a private conversation. They set that up and it pays off later.
It did. I was very impressed. I was like, hey, look at that. They set that up. That was nice.
So Bill runs around shooting the guy because they've all got 6 shooters, and he shoots one guy who immediately decompresses and just collapses like they just took a suit and he deflates. Yeah, and it's actually kind of horrifying. It's like,
it was so weird. I was like, what?
Yeah. And
I'm
then
like, the
last guy, they shoot him in the air tank, and he's like, so they take her dead brother, the extra can from her dead brother's suit, and put it on him, and the guy immediately dies. And they're like, oh,
that ain't oxygen.
That ain't oxygen. Yeah, your brother was moited.
Yup.
And so they, through some adventures, they try because everything in on the moon is made out of tissue paper. Like every wall or vehicle door or side of the building that you shoot, the bullets just going either very powerful bullets or very thin walls. Speaking of thin walls, it's not the Queen of Space, but the woman who he's sleeping with, who is like the president of the Space Corporation.
Yeah, she's a higher up.
Right.
I just don't know her title or her office, but yeah,
So she lives in like a cave with a mechanical sliding door. Yeah. And I love that the control panel next to her door that shuts the door.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Elevator
open,
control
close.
panel. It's got floor 1, 2, 3, 4 open and close. I'm like, what is the 1, 2, 3, 4? Is your whole room an elevator? Does it go to different floors? Good. What is this?
I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4 open close. I'm like, yes.
Anyway, so they're running out of air, and the climate system isn't working, so they have to strip down into their undies and try to.
She strips. So
her undies are neat.
Her underwear is neat. She has a belly chain. She's got this cool. And he looks at her and she's like, what? And I'm like, you have a belly chain and a 1-piece, 2-piece, which is pretty cool. Like, you need what? Miss, I'm trying to, the only time you can flip your hair because it's not in a spacesuit.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So they manage to get back before they run out of air. And if you didn't figure it out, the bad guys show up, and it's like, yes, we were the ones who killed your brother because he found nickel, which means that see what the I'm sorry, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. What the plan was is where they were going to land the Sapphire asteroid or meteor was in an area that was unclaimed, because as we mentioned, if you don't find anything, you lose the claim. So it would be an unclaimed spot that they could crash the meteor in. But here's the thing. Her brother found something.
Right.
Which means he now owns it. So they sent people out there to kill him, to hide the fact that he found something. So he just, died out there somewhere. And now it's an open place that they can crash stuff on. So the two stories actually worked. It's like,
yeah, they do. They come together. I'm so proud.
So
then you shouldn't be proud that a movie did well, because
did the bare minimum.
I was like so proud of you guys. You stepped up.
So they shoot the Queen of Space, whatever her name is, and I don't like that part because it comes off as we just gotta get rid of her to make room for the younger model.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, it's the 60s. You can have a throuple.
Well, not just that, but like they didn't seem like it was an exclusive thing.
Yeah,
Anyways,
yeah.
it seemed like
Friends with benefits.
yeah. So I didn't even find it like I was like he's like there never in my mind was I that he was even cheating. I was
Yeah.
like I said, a Lothario.
Yeah. So they're like, all right, yeah, we killed your brother. So now we're gonna kill you if Bill doesn't come with us and redirect the, do the final reorbit of the meteor to crash it where it's supposed to be. So we go up and there's another thing that's set up and pay off is one of the ways that she plugs into the navigator guy or the engineer
Yeah,
to
the engineer.
to conspire with him and how to do things. And it's like, that was set up. Well done. And one thing that they set up on the first mission was you latch yourself onto the rock with a safety line. And he's like, all right, I'm gonna hit the thruster with a wrench to get it to turn on. I'm like, maybe just hit the on button, buy better parts. Man, this guy's rich. Surely you can get better thrusters, but whatever.
Yeah, it was weird. I'm like, why you
He's
gotta
like,
stay with it so long, yo?
yeah, he has to stand there and manually turn it on, and then he has to make sure that he cuts the line so that he gets off of the asteroid. Otherwise, he's going with it.
Right, and he gets towed back to the craft.
Which sets up how they beat the bad guys. Because because everyone's attached to it with a safety line, and he jumps off and he's like, by the way, I took the scissors. And it shoots off with them and it crashes onto the moon with them, onto the plot that she now owns because as next of kin, she owns it. So she owns the nickel deposit and 6 tons of
sapphire now.
Sapphire.
Yeah.
But what else is funny is that there's a heavy like guarding, so 3 of the guys are on the meteor and 1 guy's guarding the door of the Moon 02.
Yeah.
And I might call this a design flaw. Maybe don't put a thruster right above the fucking door.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But I also very much enjoy how was it 3 people in a row like fell into space?
Yeah, the physics is I love the weightless acting. Everyone just
well, it was
moves like
there's a bar brawl, which I slowed down because it is hard to say those 2 words together. There was a bar brawl during one of the women dancing, the cowboy hat one. And
what makes this bar brawl so special?
Because there's apparently a switch in the bar that's like, let's turn on the anti-gravity. So he's like, I want everyone on my turf. And he hits this anti-gravity and everyone just starts moving in slow motion. It's like no one's hopping. It's just like, we're just
I think, well, it's the artificial gravity, which I think turns the moon gravity to Earth gravity. So it changes the gravity to 1G instead of 0.4 Gs or whatever the moon is.
Oh.
Right. So they're still stuck to the floor. It's just they're trying to mimic
that's pretty funny.
The lower gravity.
Okay, yes, lower gravity.
I saw that you see that sign because it's sitting like right next to space personnel only, where it says artificial gravity engaged. And like it's a warning sign. I'm like, why is that even there? I mean, you can kind of tell it's either on or it's off.
Like, why is that not in the personnel only bathroom?
What I didn't realize is there was it's a fire alarm that you can just turn off.
Yeah.
Because Bill turns off the gravity to engage in a less weighty bar brawl, which is actually pretty funny. And the girls just continue to dance.
It's crazy. Yeah, wonderful. But I was like, yeah, that's just anywhere for someone to hit. Cool.
Yeah, it's literally like a fire alarm. It's just on the wall in case emergency, got to shut off the artificial gravity. I'm like, when is that ever gonna
be necessary? Yeah.
I love the transportation shuttle that they're on towards the beginning of the film that has the in-flight movie that's playing on the back wall.
Oh, the Western.
Nobody's facing.
No one's facing it.
Yeah, there are, if you look closely, and I was looking hard, there are some back-to-back chairs, so there are some people
Oh,
facing that way, but none of the camera angles make that obvious. It just looks like there's a movie playing behind
see,
everybody.
I think he was also sleeping with that waitress, or they had one entanglement at
Oh,
some point because when the waitress
the
brings him
on the
to the
yeah.
grimace, the green grimace.
Yep.
No, but you forget how the story ends now, brother. You see, she has become wealthy because her brother died, which, by the way, there's not a lot of high stakes. Nothing is very high stakes in this movie. In
The
that
one lady
when
dies and the other one's held hostage, but the villain has a pretty nice play that this he plays on Bill's desire to explore. He's like, "Look, dude,
yeah yeah
I know you're feeling bad about me killing her brother and the other lady you were sleeping with, but hear me out, man. With 6 tons of sapphire, I can use that to build all kinds of cool rockets and spaceships." So that I can explore the galaxy
yeah.
because I want to own other planets and I'm going to need people to fly those ships. That's going to be you, buddy. I'm like, this needed some massaging. Like there needed to be
Right.
more of an actual choice here, like
So
where
maybe
you could. But
stakes isn't the
that's
right.
good stuff right there. That's some stuff that
Yes.
you could plausibly see Bill going, well, this is something I've always wanted. I should facilitate this guy, you know.
Right.
But it
I
never
mean,
really comes down to him having to make a choice, really.
so I would agree with that in that I think stakes is the incorrect word that I use, but I do agree with you. I thought that that was a good angle for them to use. What I mean is like she finds her brother dead, standing and dead, and it's like, that's unfortunate. There's no, and then like later when the bad guys like shoot the girl, everyone is just kind of like, hmm,
Oh, that
is it,
sucks.
is he gonna
Eh,
do it? Is it?
damn shame.
Well, he hasn't yet. I guess I'll fly the plane then, or the shut. Like they're just like emotions never actually get high, even though
Yeah, I
there's
think it's
moments
just a
that
hard cut to the
it's
ship.
there's a lot of hard cuts. There's even a moment, and I can't remember what it was, um, that like he's in the ship. It's right before they get to the Sapphire. He like calls him like he's like, you're a something or other, a putz or whatever. Like obviously he doesn't say putz, and then it just cuts and they're on the Sapphire, and I'm like,
Yeah.
where were we going with this? But no, so anyway, so she went. So this is the very end of the movie. It's very funny. They all win. They've killed everybody, like you do.
Yep. All the bad guys are dead.
All the bad guys are dead.
Great villain
She
death though, being strapped to
to
the
the
meteor
at
that
meteor, whatever
crash.
they
They
call
were
that.
strapped to the thing that they're crashing into the moon.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
So and so they're just triumphantly making their way back to Moon City. They being um Kemp, the girl, and his
Engineer.
engineer.
Yeah, the other guy.
And they're like, yes, we've done it. And Kemp goes, by the way, fill in lady's name blank. I don't know, forget her name because she's not important. Well, the name's not important. He goes, by the way, I never asked you how your accommodations were at the hotel. And she goes, well, why don't you come over and find out? Moon zero two. Like that was it. It's over. She's, why didn't you come find out? And he's like, I set that up that way. Thank you for knocking down those pins that I very lovingly set up for you. But I'm like, what are you? I'm like, yep.
Yeah.
And the engineer's just like, can this thing go any
It's like
faster? This
I
is so
guess
hard.
I'll just go back to my own room then.
Yeah, I guess we're not getting a triumphant scotch.
So we're
Like,
not going to have some moon scotch at the Moon Bar in
uh,
Moon City,
oh man, but no, it was
purchased with
so.
some space bucks.
It
Also,
was.
why do these not even the guy's jumpsuits have pockets? He has to keep his credits in his boots.
Yeah, I was like, in that, and it was also a very bad angle when he's like, that'll be 1,000 credits or whatever, and he's like, and I'm like,
I
where's
was
he
wondering,
going?
like, is he pulling it out of his
Where is he
belt?
going to get that? And then I
And
thought, yeah,
there's a
no,
wider shot where he stuffs it back in
it's
his
his
boot. I'm
boot.
like,
But they don't show it when you get it out. So if you're not like watching later, you're like, okay, that, but he's just like, you're like, what you doing down there, sir?
I'll just run this through the machine then, shall I?
So good.
Oh,
So good.
they have the
Oh my God.
I like the gigantic cell phones that were sitting on the bar tables. That
He pours a drink on. He's like, "What? I bought it a drink."
was a pretty good line.
But like, what it like these cell phones? Like, so the stage where the girls are dancing, it is a thrust stage. Think peninsula, right? So they're on this thrust stage, and like these private tables right up front that have little cocktail rounds next to them that have these little phones on them, and you can call
The other
other
table.
tables apparently. And I'm like,
they're 10 feet away. Just walk over.
which is what he does, because the bad nasty calls the table and he looks at the phone and he dumps his drink on it. And then the bad nasty's like, hangs up the
Stands
phone
up
and
and
walks
walks
over there.
5 steps.
And he goes, "That was rude."
Dude, rude.
Come and talk to me. But like, it was I'm like,
Talk
he's
to me,
right
bro.
there. He's right there. Go talk to him.
Oh,
how is this more private?
The bad guy's hench ladies who he was playing Space Monopoly with.
Oh yeah, and their hair was great.
Yeah, they're and even one of them has like a character trait where she's constantly he's like, stop sucking on your thumb, which becomes a character thing. Those two, they drop out of the movie. They're introduced in the very beginning. They're in the main room in the Space Monopoly when Bill comes in to have a scotch and learn of the plan.
And then they're a little later.
They're with them when he's in the main airport terminal, and then you never see them again. Which that's a shame, because they have some of the funnest outfits and wigs and makeups.
They were pretty fun. But yeah. No, it was just, it was such a fun, dumb movie to watch that I'm just like, the whole thing was just
imagine
funny
how much
and
fun
laughing.
It would have been to watch it with someone else.
That's the thing, which is why Fushi's kind of like, I'm like,
you're gonna watch it with Fushi? Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, I have to watch this with someone, because this is too good to not share.
I have a feeling you're going to be watching Fushi through half the movie. You're going to be like, okay, here's the weird shower scene. I just want to see how you react to this.
Yeah. I'll just have to maneuver myself so I'm a little bit behind him, just so I can because it's, oh man. But yeah, I think,
So for those who aren't, we've mentioned this twice, the shower thing.
Sorry.
The shower stall doesn't have a door. It has like a saloon kind of door that's only about maybe 10 inches tall. Like Bill Kemp is standing in there, and the shower door is just right here.
Yeah, it is
from here down, nude from here up.
It is below the belt, and it better be cold. That water better be cold, is all I'm saying.
And also, because he's such a tall dude, I don't think that door's in a good place for anybody else.
He has the longest damn torso. Like I was.
Yeah, he's all torso.
He is,
dude, but all torso.
So much torso. So maybe it would be fine for everybody else. But like, yeah, I mean, that it was uncomfortably small, and I'm in this century that I'm like,
I'm like, I'm
like, oh wow. But anyway,
maybe they're adjustable doors. You can like pull them up and down.
And he's like, "No, I'm having a conversation. I'm just gonna go all the way to you." Can you imagine? It's like a roll-up window.
And someone comes in and is trying to talk. He's like, "I can't hear you over this incredibly loud."
It was
shower.
The engineer. Was it not the engineer that was like, "We need to do this," and he's like, "I can't do it. No. Yeah." What an ass. Oh my gosh.
Screw you, Bill. I know you can hear me.
It's like, just every news scene has something that you're just like, what is that? It's so funny. Just that is a movie that should be remade.
Yeah, it keeps the theme song though. And I love the fact that the bum ba da da that melody is throughout the entire film score.
Yep, that
I particularly like the elongated acoustic guitar version of it.
like as far as the theme of this month goes, like it definitely got its worth throughout the
Yeah,
movie. You got
they
your
got their
money's worth.
money's worth out of that
Thank
theme.
you.
It's
Words are hard when your nodes are so swollen.
yeah, it's
So.
a kind of 60s pop jazz with
With a theremin feel.
with kind of moving into the 70s era funk. You know, that's kind of
Yes.
how I describe the song.
Yes. Very,
Biggest problem with it is the movie's so old that this is you know, it's mono sound. You've got this
oh
incredibly
yeah.
detailed, layered soundscape with instrumentation and the lead vocal and all of these bursting harmony parts all mixed into the same sound
Yeah.
channel, and it's just kind of a wall of noise. But as a musician, I'm listening to it. I'm like, oh man, I really want to hear a master of this. I bet this is super cool. I mean, it still plays. You can still tell what it is, but
Yeah.
that is a lot of crap that they just jammed into a single channel. And
Very
I
true.
mean, it's split into stereo now, but you know, it's just the same thing in both channels now. But yeah, great title song. Not a good movie, but I love it.
But a great one. So there's no good segue because the movie that I chose is so far in the opposite direction and feel and enjoyment and everything from this movie that
enjoyment, okay.
It's an incredible movie, but for a completely different reason.
Okay.
The Crying Game.
Wow. The Crying Game.
The Crying Game. You've seen it.
Have I seen this? Because I've definitely heard the song. Did I hear it watching the movie? I don't remember. This is gonna be one I'm gonna have to watch again to see if I actually saw it the first time. I think it was like a Basic Instinct, which we did a couple of weeks ago. I couldn't remember if I'd seen this movie at all. Turns out I had.
I have a feeling that once you start this, if you've seen it, you'll be like, yep. Because it's gonna be hard to forget. So yes,
well, I mean, I know what the movie's about.
Yes.
I just can't remember. I don't have any images in my mind of it. So I've either never seen it or I just completely forgot about having seen the movie.
Right. So. But anyways, there you go. we're gonna bring it back.
All right.
Bring it way down. Stephen Ray, baby.
Okay, well, today's episode may have come to an end, but Title Song Month continues next time with Kelly's mandated movie, The Crying Game. If you'd like to watch it too, and why wouldn't you, check out the description to see where it's currently streaming or available to rent. Until then, you can watch Movie Mandates on YouTube or listen to it in podcast form on iTunes. If you like the show, want to help us reach a wider audience, engage with us! So if you're watching on YouTube, like and comment, listen on iTunes, rate review, much obliged. With that, I'm Andrew. Follow me on Twitter at Andrew Eisen.
I'm Kelly at PimentoLivia10.
We hope you've all enjoyed this episode of Movie Mandates, and we'll be back soon with another mandated movie. Bye, everyone.